Good evening, everyone. Today we're going to be looking at Ecclesiasticus, the wisdom of Jesus, the son of Sirach, also known as the Book of Sirach. This is an Old Testament book, part of the Deuterocanonical books, and I've included the prologue. So the prologue was written in Hebrew, but the Book of Sirach was written in Hebrew, but the writer of the foreword translated it into Greek. And it's kind of talking about this book. So the prologue: many great teachings have been given to us through the law and the prophets and the others, or the writings, other books that followed them. So in the Jewish, they call the Tanakh, the Torah, the Nebaim, and the Ketubim, the writings, or other books, the law and the prophets that followed them. And for these we should praise Israel for instruction and wisdom. Now those who read the scriptures must not only themselves understand them, but must also be lovers of learning, as lovers of learning, be able through the spoken and written word to help the outsiders. So lovers of learning, this is a phrase that either is or will parallel the word for philosopher, the lovers of wisdom. And the Book of Sirach, which was written by Yeshua, the son of Eleazar, the grandson of Sirach, but he calls himself the son of Sirach, is written between 190 and 180 BC, in a time when there was a lot of Greek influence, and so the Greek philosophy was seen as something that was better than the Jewish scriptures. The Jewish scriptures were seen as secondary, that they had been surpassed by the Greeks. And so we have this book as kind of a response. No, what the Greeks have is not as good as what we have. Let me show you what my grandfather taught me. My grandfather, who's not a Greek, but who is a Jewish person, a Hebrew. So now those who read the scriptures must not only themselves understand them, so it's not enough to know them, but must also be lovers of must also, as lovers of learning, be able through the spoken and written word to help the outsiders, to help those who don't know the scriptures, to help those who are non-Jewish. So my grandfather, Jesus, who had devoted himself especially to the reading of the law and the prophets and the other books of our ancestors, and has acquired considerable proficiency in them, was himself also led to write something pertaining to instruction and wisdom, so that by becoming familiar also with his book, those who love learning, this word, which would be similar to the word for philosophy, might make even greater progress in living according to the law. You are invited, therefore, to read it with goodwill and attention, and to be indulgent in cases where, despite our diligent labor in translating, so it was written in Hebrew by his grandfather, he's translating into Greek, we may seem to have rendered some phrases imperfectly. For what was originally expressed in Hebrew does not have exactly the same sense when translated into another language. So here he's writing in Greek, He's also translating what will follow from Hebrew into Greek. Not only this book, but even the law itself, the prophecies, and the rest of the books differ not a little when read in the original. So we have the Greek Septuagint, but here Yeshua, Jesus, the grandson of Sirach, is he's saying that even the Septuagint, which is such a good and important text, even that differs from the Hebrew. So he's saying something is lost. It's not bad, it's worth reading, but something is lost from the original. When I came to Egypt in the 38th year of the reign of Euergetes, so now they say, as to the date at which he wrote, the prologue shows his grandson to have been of mature age in the 38th year when Ptolemy Euergetes was king. This is best taken as meaning the 38th year of Euergetes II in 132 BC. The grandfather bin Sirach would have flourished 60 or 50 years previously, i.e. 190 to 180 BC. So Euergetes would be the same as Ptolemy, this descendant of Alexander the Great, or this general of Alexander the Great. When I came to Egypt in the 38th year of the reign of Euergetes and stayed for some time, I found opportunity for no little instruction. So this means I found a lot of opportunity to learn. It seemed highly necessary that I should myself devote some diligence and labor to the translation of this book, which my grandfather had written. During that time, I have applied my skill day and night to complete and publish the book for those living abroad who wished to gain learning and are disposed to live according to the law. Now, in the Greek, I like to use newadvent.org. It has Greek, English, and Latin. It uses the Vulgate as well. So we can pull up the Book of Sirach. And so they're starting it. Okay, here they have chapter 0 is how they do it. So this is about okay, so anyone who values learning Kaiton Alonton kat autus ekoluthekoton dedo menon. Follow. Data or learning. So the one who follows learning is what they're using. So it's not like the word philosophy that I had thought. So that's the prologue. So now we're starting this book that is written, say, 50 or 60 years prior. So this first part that we read, the prologue, is often called chapter 0, or verses 1 through 36, depending on how you are numbering them. So here's chapter 1, which is basically the rest of the chapter. All wisdom is from the Lord. So there's people who seek wisdom from other sources, but here we're seeing that it comes from the Lord. I'll have to end there. Thank you so much. God bless you.